Hello, everybody, and welcome to URR, Ultima Ratio Regum. This is a very interesting project made by Mark R. Johnson. It is free on his website, and you can find a link in the description of this video. URR is a solo-developed roguelike, kind of in the vein of, let's just say, something along the lines of a Dwarf Fortress adventure mode. It is a very, very, very large, open, heavily simulated and rich and generated world that is random each time with a lot of different things to kind of poke through and explore. I tend to take a look at this game every single time a major version number comes out, and version 10 has just released, so I think it's time to give it another look. In this version, it focuses heavily on bug fixes, as well as kind of updating a lot of mechanics that have been kind of left behind in the game. The game has kind of been a very empty open world for a very long time that you kind of poke around and explore, and I remember being very excited a couple of versions ago when Mark R. Johnson posted that he had released NPCs, and I was very excited about this. It's a massive open space to explore with massive cities and places to poke around and look into. And then, of course, a world that it generates. As for the game itself, it comes with its own guidebook, which kind of acts as your in-game wiki. It gives you a pretty good kind of indication of what needs to be done in each world and what you need to go about doing in order to play the game. It gives you an idea of what is important and how to play the game. Of course, there's your controls, and accessing the encyclopedia with E at any time is also very important. Same with the guidebook under G. All of these grayed out mechanics are not in the game just yet. So as I go through here, you can see from the top, armor, books, and bows and crossbows aren't in the game. Buildings are, city districts are, clothes are, combat is not. Controls and conversations and currencies and coins are. Firearms and graphics and symbols are, not. Jewelry is in the game. Keys and doors and locks are not. Languages are, and etc. all the way down to the bottom. Survival has now been added to the game, which means survival involves a strategy when moving around the world inside of settlements and on ships. You have access to food and water and warmth, but outside these will... so this is a new mechanic in this version to my knowledge. I don't recall being able to actually die in previous versions, but it's kind of interesting being able to go through this guidebook and get kind of a little idea of what is in the game. But what we're going to do is we're going to dive in and generate a new world. Now, this playthrough is going to be kind of like a edited Let's Play. I will have points where I talk, and that's where the gameplay will be, and then there will be points where I'm silent. And no, don't worry, it's not your computer. This game has no sound effects, so there's nothing to listen to here. It's just going to be my voice when interesting things are happening and when I'm reading dialogue. So I'm just going to shut up now until world generation is done, and then I will begin speaking once we hit character creation. All right, now that world generation is finished, we're going to jump in and we're going to start a new game. So once we've selected our opening save file, these are two previous ones that I messed around with a little bit, we select this. Now, what this gives us is it gives us character creation. Now, we can go through preferred policies, which is kind of an interesting way of doing character creation. So we have various different kind of spheres here. We have leadership, religious, foreign, trade, as well as military, cultural, intellectual, and justice policies. So essentially what these are is it's alignments for the world. Now, these are relatively static, but it depends on what ends up in the world. So we can essentially decide what kind of parliament we want, whether or not we want a monarchy. Monarchy is a little bit fun because you get these tombs underground, and down at the bottom there, it tells you how common it is. So the way this works is it selects a faction in the world for you to start as based on the closest set of your alignments here. So if I run through this, we could do a theocracy, a monarchy, stratocracy, or just representation. Under religious, we could have collective faith, organized religion, religious freedom, zealotry, monistic, or cultism. And you can see again just how common each variant is down in the bottom. Interesting. This is the first world where I've had collective faith is rare. But I really quite enjoy zealotry because I think it's a bit of fun. But there's a bunch of different options down there. Then underneath foreign, there's isolationist. You can be an internationalist. You can be an interventionalist, an imperialist, or just an exploratory one. I really like the idea of seeing if we could get like either organized religion or alternatively something pretty free like religious freedom, which is common. Exploratory religious freedom with a monarchy could be fun. And then down here, let's see what we get for trade options. There's free trade, barter system, a system in which as wealth is jealousy, and entering and leaving this nation's capital city costs money, so everything's expensive. Planned economy, you can go with protectionism. Slavery as trade. I really like the idea of free trade personally, and I think would kind of fit for what we're aiming for. However, it is rare here, so what is common? This nation's guards its wealth jealously, entering and leaving. I don't know if I want to do that. Planned economy is also rare, and protectionism. Basic goods are cheaper than normal in this nation, and merchants will offer a small discount when buying from them. Also seems like a good idea for this particular character's alignments. And then down here under military, there's standing army, vassalage, conscription, militia, and pacifism. Pacifism is rare. Militia is common. Conscription is common. Vassalage is common. And standing army is also common. Military bases can be found in towns, and these will contain on-duty and off-duty soldiers. All right, I think we'll go with that. And then I think we'll leave... I think we'll leave the last three on random, just for a little bit of fun here. So this nation is ruled by a monarch whose legitimacy is derived from history. Okay, so and this also leads to tombs in cities. This nation places no restrictions on religious beliefs of its people, and its capital city contains a religious district with a range of different religious buildings representing different faiths. So this will give us an opportunity to explore that. And then down here, exploration. Cartographers can be found in marketplaces, and they sell maps showing you the outline of different lands, and also sometimes sell treasure maps with information about buried items and potentially high value. Domestic goods are cheaper than normal in this nation, and merchants will offer a small discount when buying from them. And then down at the bottom is standing army. Military bases can be found in towns, and these will contain on-duty and off-duty soldiers of various ranks to seek and protect. So now we're going to press enter to confirm our biases here, or our preferences, and the game will now drop us in. So now we can explore. This is done via the numpad. We can look around, and everything in this game, to my knowledge, more or less, is examinable. So let's take a peek at this. What is this? It's an object. It's a fountain. Frozen soil. We can look at the soil, and it'll tell us it'll show us what the soil looks like. This terrain is frozen soil and on your level. All right, well, let's see what else we can see from here. We can see right here that there is a fountain. This is a water fountain here. So this is the visuals of this is going to change based on what is in the general area. We can also see that there is me right here. This is us. We are wearing an ornate shirt, which is undamaged. We have no helmet, no necklace, and our right arms are bare from what I can tell. Right leg, we have ornate trousers on our right and left legs. We have ornate boots, and we seem to be a rather wealthy dude, and our name is Jeff. Well, that's hysterical. We are Jeff, the 17th Fox is us. If I press space, we can see the map of the city that we are in. And right now, we do know that this is your home city, and you maintain a friendly relations with your home nation, and your movement in the capital will be free and unrestricted. This is an upper-class housing district, and this is your home city, and you know what this contains. We know that the manor house of Trefalma is here, and we also know that the manor house of Jadiniana is here. Also, the manor house of Sedana, which is us. And I'm not entirely sure where we are or which one is ours, but we can move around and take a peek. We do know that it's cold, and there are some signs right here, so let's take a peek at that. What is this? Okay, so this states that this is a person. I see. I'm assuming here. Take a look at you. Creatures, Agenovice the 12th Owl, who is a soldier from the looks of things, a guard. Now, something that is very important in URR when you're messing around in this alpha is the G key. The G key is going to open up your guide. This is going to give you kind of a description of everything that is in the game right now. All of these highlighted features in white are in the game currently, and all of the blacked out features are currently future features. One feature that is in this game, however, are controls, which is very important to keep an eye on and is going to be your way through the game. The two keys currently that open up the guidebook are question mark and G, and the encyclopedia is also extremely useful under E. Options, of course, will change your options menu, and travel allows you to fast travel. You can place bookmarks on locations, if I'm not mistaken, and then I is to view our inventory. So let's see what's in our inventory. We can see that we have clothing under C, and we're wearing ornate shirt, we're wearing an ornate trousers, and of course those boots. So our shirt looks like this, and this is going to be generated based on what our faction is, where we live, where we came from, our origins, and all of that. So then we can look at our trousers, which look like this, kind of like, they almost look like jorts with tights underneath them. It's kind of a neat design. I do like the coloring though. And we can look at our boots, which look like something that my sister-in-law owns. And then from there, we can walk around a little bit. We can peek up here and take a look at this door. And see that this is a locked door to a manor house. We can also explore around a little bit. So what is the goal of URR? Well, it's very much a open exploration thing right now. It's kind of hard to explain how it's a game because, to my knowledge, URR doesn't really have an overarching goal. The game simply generates you a world and you go and explore. It's completely free, like I said earlier, and downloadable from the developer's website, which I will link in the description once again. But my goal right now is to find the marketplace, which is one of the new features of this most recent update. So if I press space here, we can see our map, and we can check these different locations. We can see that just over to the right of us is where the cartographer, the historian, the rifle maker, the powder maker, the whaler, the helmet smith, the weaver, and the currency exchange all exists. We can also see that there's officers' quarters down here, and just over here is kind of your, what is this? This is the city center. It is your home city. There's a guild, a memorial, a gallery, a court, an embassy. I'm also kind of curious about where this religious zone is. Maybe purple? Yes, there you go. Purple is the religious zone. So I guess that we can start by moving over to the right and traveling over to the marketplace, which won't be too difficult. We just need to find the gate, which is just going to take a little bit of doing here. And then also there's something going on in here. I'm kind of curious at what this looks like. What is this? This is a narrow-leaved garnet thistle. Okay, well, it's like flowers. Flowers in the middle of a beautiful garden, I suppose. Yeah, and frozen soil. Well, that's pretty looking. Well, let's keep moving, shall we? Until we acquire an exit, which is just going to be somewhere along this wall, probably. But I need a road going to this wall. This is definitely a very large, well-to-do area. I've definitely spawned in, like, not noble zones before, so this is kind of interesting. Oh, there's a gate. Excellent. Let's peek through here. You are at the gates of Fresh Puzzle, which is the leaving the, oh, really? Is that really leaving the city? I thought that I was just on the edge of the city, so that would move me over to this other district. Let's proceed. Let's see where this takes us. Because this should just take us to a different, yes, okay. So this takes us to a different district of the city now. It looked like we were leaving the city. So now we're in the kind of the marketplace district, and you can see the little H's walking around. These are other people. So this is a person named the 20th Lynx is their last name, and they are Jaffagasip. Let's see if I can speak with a Jaffagasip, or maybe they will just simply run away from my terrible looks. I guess we'll simply move around, and once I find the marketplace, I will continue speaking. So as I explore this area, I've now found the marketplace. So the marketplace are these little buildings here with these little question marks. If I select the question marks and I look at the shop sign, I can very clearly see that this is a shop sign. So we can move into the shop, and if there's somebody working the shop, which I'm not certain there is, I should be able to speak with them. That, or alternatively, we can simply look at what's in the shop. So I can look at this shop stall by selecting this and hitting B. Okay, well, we know it's a shop stall. I can also look at this, see what that is. It's a different shop stall. Well, okay, so there's somebody here. Hello, you. Who are you? That is Astromoop, the second fox, who has a very interesting chin hair. We will speak with them by hitting S. Now, this is me, Jeff, on the left, and them on the right. Astronoop, the second fox. What are the odds I get named Jeffs? So I can just give them a greeting. We'll give them a neutral greeting. Sincere greetings upon the behalf of my ancient, age-old civilization. Oh, well, hello, and back to you. A fine day it is, they say. I want to ask about art. What do you think of your culture's art? What is your favorite work of art? What is the name of your dearest artistry? And they say, the name of my dearest artistry is the Tryphonmenst, the 20th Fox and Castle. Okay, 20th Fox and Castle it is. Can I ask you if we can trade somehow? Let's continue to just peek around and look. Let's ask them about their culture. What foreign nations does your civilization have contact with? So what unfamiliar nations does the civilization of your citizens engage within customary and make contact with? And then they respond with, we have make contact with 3 civilizations, which are the kingdom of Kafumna and Popedon, and Stugipi, and the kingdom of Exu, which is interesting. Under exchange here, we can have a peek at what they have. They have a map, they have a compass, they have pittons, and some more maps. But the last map is rather cheap, and I do actually have enough money to purchase one of these maps. So I'm really curious to take a peek at one of these maps. So I'm going to see if I can purchase it. I do have, there we go. I'm spending 7 of my currency, which I can also look at. And so now I have that map, I think. Let me just back out of here. And now, as you can see, under H, I have maps. So I can now look at this map. This is a slightly damaged small map. All right, interesting. Everything in this world is going to be unique to each playthrough. So because of this, if I go into my, let's just say my currencies, currently I have, whoops, no, that's not currencies. If I go to D for currencies, Platinum Axe is the name of our currency. I am carrying 19 currently. This is a Platinum Axe, currency of the kingdom of Kafunma, which is us, and we are carrying 19. We can peek around a little bit more, and let's see if there's some other people that we can speak with. You right here. Hello, person. I am Jeff. Who are you? You are Anstrugup, the 8th owl. I want to say a polite greeting and say sincere greetings. Let's see what else we can do. I'm going to see what other shops are around and see if there's anything interesting I can pick up on as I travel through the town. So I found this person that sells helmets. Now, I'm not entirely certain what I would do with a helmet, because helmets, of course, are not, or combat isn't something that's in the game just yet. I have a feeling that food is probably a little bit more important, so I'm going to keep seeking until I find food. And then we're going to see if we can wander around in the wilds just a little bit. Well, I found the gun dealer. So this is actually new since I've taken a look. We can see these different types of rifles. Very expensive, something that's very far out of my possible reach. But, you know, of course, we got more places to explore and more things to do, so going to keep walking. I found a grenade seller who is selling various rifle balls, bags of gunpowder, and various other interesting little items. Now, some of these things may be things that I could actually purchase and sell in other locations for higher amounts. But you know, at this point, I don't actually know what I need, so I'm just kind of sticking to exploring and looking at things and seeing the interesting little generated wares versus, you know, spending all of my money in one place. Like, look at this. This person's got textiles. You know, actually, I would like to buy it. You know, I just lied. I'm gonna purchase a textile. We're purchasing this at 6, if I'm not mistaken. So we now have a textile in our inventory. Perhaps we could sell that at a higher value over at the docks or something. Now let's keep moving and see what else we can discover. This is kind of the market district that I was exploring with those random items, which are new. And then up here we have this kind of large housing district up to the north in the city. As for the city map itself, remember we are still just in this one location. We could move down to the officers' quarters for the military. We could move up to the castle. I think we're going to try and move up to the castle. Let's see if I can find a roadway leading upwards. Here we go. And maybe there will be a gate just there. Now, of course, all of these individuals have their own lives and like their own routes that they're going on, and they all have their own like looks and whatnot. So this person's named Ice, and we could speak with them just as they walk past. Of course, a friendly greeting, and they say good day, and then we can ask them about people. It's like, who leads your nation? How about that? Who is the leader of your ancient old civilization? Such a query, not one I want to respond. I am busy. I'm a busy person with little time to think of such things. Well, neutral farewell to you, and acutely the same to you. We're going to move north and see if I can find that gate. There it is. Lots of people coming out of this gate. We are now moving up to the castle district. So this is a very large kind of lake here. And of course, once again, we can examine anything and it will show us what it looks like, which is very fun, including the road. The road looks around the same in here. But the castle should be north of us here. So if I move around a little bit, I should be able to find an entrance, hopefully. There are these like towers kind of around the edge. We have this big old stream kind of going on. Very interesting. We're going to just kind of keep moving until I find something of note. Very, very large world, very empty world is the world of URR. But it's such a fascinating thing to just kind of tool about with every so often. Oh, there's a gate. I see. So it's like a large fountain structure, or is the, oh no, this is moving through. So the castle's in the middle of this. So I need to find a way across this, assuming there is a way across this. So let's just keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go down. So regardless, this is a very large building. So I guess kind of the people that I would recommend URR to is, are you interested in weird, esoteric programming projects made by people that do not really care about making functional game design, but mostly care about just making really interesting art in using video games as kind of a source of that? Well, this is definitely a good place to start. Let's look at the door here, because I'm sure that there's got to be something interesting with this. All right, it's kind of a different pattern on that door. We move inside, and just inside of the castle, we have tables, which are pretty nicely made and constructed. We found kind of a little dining room right in the entrance. Well, let's walk around that. So, of course, the building will follow the shape of the generated area, and we have some guards who I can look at, and they're just kind of hanging out there with helmets on. I don't know if they'll let me pass. Yeah, no, they're not going to let me pass. Can I speak with you? Greetings, polite greeting. And they say, hello, my thoughts to you, fellow. I ask let's ask about the rulers. Let's see. Exchange art, people, laws. Who is the leader of your nation? You should talk to others concerning such things. Well, very much so. I would like to speak with the king, or queen, or person of importance in this region is definitely something I would like to do. I like this castle zone. It's kind of neat looking so far. We're going to move down here and walk. Whoa, there's kind of a secret garden in the middle here. This actually reminds me of like one of the maps from Thief. It's like the mansion in Thief 1. Let me get these in here. What are these? These are statues. What are the statues of? Oh, well, there's a statue. There's a statue here, as of yet unfinished. Okay, well, game doesn't have the ability to generate statues just yet. Well, that's a shame. Let's see, what do you have up here? This is a candle stand. Ooh, and wooden flooring, not moon flooring. That is moon flooring. It's like, moon flooring must be something fancy. Nope, just wooden flooring because I misread. Down here to the other side is this area. Okay, what else do we have? Ooh, this must be fancy. What's this? This is a religious altar. This is an altar to Fafuda, the cat-headed divine. Well, I mean, obviously a cat god is going to be worshipped here. That seems perfectly fitting, I would say. What else do we have here? We have just stone flooring, of course. And down here we have a ceremonial gong. So kind of, I guess, the goal of Ultima Ratio Regum, as I understand it right now. I mean, the game is very much a big open sandbox with not a ton to do in the way of traditional gameplay. But in the saving and loading screen, like if I back out to the main menu right here, right? The game will save, and then I can load a saved game, and we can select here. So this is like the world that we are currently playing. That is the flag, the kingdom of Kafunma. We know of 3 other factions in existence right now. And kind of your goal is to slowly just discover as much about the world as possible. And you do that by traveling to places and talking to people and not dying in the process. There is supposedly supposed to be a long planned end goal for the game where, apologies if I'm misquoting here, but there's a person in this hallway. Apologies if I'm misquoting here, but it's supposed to be a kind of like a giant Illuminati thing where you're trying to topple whole civilizations from within just by talking to people. Very much a non-combat kind of thing. So this person is the 19th Fox, and they are wearing a poor shirt and poor skirt. Let's see if we can speak with you, you villager. Greetings to you. And they said, good day. My thoughts to you. And I'm going to ask about the ruler. Not anybody of interest lives close to here. Really? Not for your religion. How about your leader? You should talk to others about this. Who leads your religion? You should talk to others concerning about this. About any recent events. Have you seen any major events recently that have taken place nearby? There have been no nearby events. Well, farewell, good friend. I'm going to keep exploring and check back in if I find anything particularly noteworthy. So I seem to have explored most of this level so far, and I haven't really seen a way to get past that guard, nor have I necessarily found anything particularly interesting in there, aside from a few interesting little religious buildings and altars and such. I can, of course, walk around the outside here, and because this is a monarch's home, I'm curious if there's like a graveyard or something. If not, we'll have to peer around outside of the city itself, as I've not done a monarch start with a castle before. So we're going to just kind of wander around the outside here, and then I think what I'm going to do next is see if I can work my way down to the port or just get to the edge of the city and explore around into the outside just a little bit. Of course, talking to different people gives you different results. However, actually completing any of the tasks, especially when you're told to go find somebody specific, is rather difficult in a world where everybody looks identical. Of course, keep in mind this game is extremely unfinished and very much in a alpha state. So we have several guards out front that I obviously can't fight with, but what I can do is simply walk away. So I'm going to move over to a different portion of the city. I think I'm going to travel over here down to the docks, and if I encounter anything particularly interesting, I will definitely let you know. So I actually just got a crash. I was exploring around and talking to people, and I tried to walk into this building right here, and the game crashed. But something that I noticed that the game did that I've never seen before in this version of the game, or in a previous version of the game, is when the game crashed, it actually saved, so I didn't lose any progress, which is really interesting. Every other version of the game that I've played where I've been exploring buildings like this, and then just, doing what I do, which is looking at tables and stuff, instead of like the game breaking and like bricking the save file or alternatively losing progress, it actually just auto-saved, which is quite nice. So it was very easy and quick to just pop back into the game. So definitely a cool improvement there if you've played this game before and it's crashed on you. I'm just going around and looking at tables and stuff since we're in kind of this parks district right now, which on the map is right here. We were up at the castle district previously, and I walked over through the religious district, and now we're down into here. I'm heading down to the dockyard currently to see if there are any interesting happenings going on down there. So once again, I will check back in as I find things that are interesting. Now, we've moved down one single zone, and we are now in the guild with the memorial, the gallery, and the court. And I've discovered this massive circular building here, and I kind of want to know what it is. So I'm seeing if I can find a door for it. It might just be a wall. I'm not entirely sure. It's made of bricks. We know that much. There's also this really large square building here. There's some interesting stuff that I haven't seen in the cities before in URR. So let's see we can find a door, or if there even is a door. Maybe there isn't a door. Maybe it's not even a building at all. Maybe it's just, like I said, a wall. Interesting. Well, large circular building it is. Let's go down to that square thing over on the side. We'll keep scanning, seeing if I see a door. It appears that it is now nighttime, which means a lot of people will be inside and things will be closed. I don't actually think that you can sleep in the game right now. But I did just gain another crash, so we'll get the game restarted back up. And I just got to say that my first two times when I was messing around in URR earlier today for about an hour and a half in one playthrough, I didn't encounter any crashes, so this is a little bit unfortunate. But fortunately, we can just get straight back in without losing anything. Uh-oh, it appears that maybe I've entirely lost the save file now. Let me try this again. And closing that. Fascinating game, but maybe not entirely ready for consumption still. Try it a third time. Fingers crossed. No. Okay. Well, what I have to say is I still would like to show a little bit more off of URR, but maybe we should wait for a later date. This is definitely a game that needs more testing in every single version of it, and is fascinating enough that I want to play it, but unfortunately it seems that we are still in a state where saves can just fall over. It is really cool being able to generate a world like this and then walk around and learn about it just from the perspective of talking to people in the world. What I can do is I could jump into one of my previous saves and show you a little bit there as well, just to give you a little bit of an idea of the variance of URR, and then from there we'll probably wrap up the video. So we're going to be jumping into the faction of Ortriv of the nation of Utriv. And if I would like to get outside of the city to just kind of show you the fields and the stuff that can surface out there. So I will real quick show you the layout of this city. Once again, it's kind of a similar thing. You'll notice similar districts, but we are kind of sitting right here at sort of at the edge-ish of kind of the housing district. But if I can find a gate, I can also show you what happens if you try and travel abroad, which is something that I would really like to do because I think that's like this game almost is just like virtual tourism in a way. So you can travel around to other settlements. It looks like there you can also buy water, food, and supplies. So you can buy a canteen. You can buy 10 units of drinking water, which I think we're going to grab both of if I can. And we're going to buy some food rations and 10 pieces of equipment for survival and camping. Okay, I think we're going to pick up all that if I can. Oh, I see. I have 20 held and 0 banked, which means currently this should cost 12, 13, 14, 15. But apparently, according to this, I already have 10. Okay, I already have what I need. So what I can do is we can also exchange currency if there was something to exchange, but we can turn back around and I'm just going to proceed and we're going to see if we can get out of the city here. To give you an idea of some of the variances though, since we are walking around, we are currently in the military zone. I can look at myself. We are Oki yourself, Katz your Elsa, and we are in our inventory. We are wearing clothing. Then this is our ornate shirt. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Let's look at our ornate skirt and our ornate boots, which are quite lovely looking, frankly. Very red. I like the look. And then over here we have some catapults from the looks of things. Yep, it's a catapult, or a part of a catapult. Of course, when looking like this, you can, by hitting L, you can actually just do this, and it's a lot simpler, so you can see the bits and pieces of the catapults. But once again, we're trying to leave the city, so I'm just going to keep moving until we get down to the edge of the settlement. I would also just like to shout out the doors in this zone. They look completely different than the doors that we saw previously, as well as the stone road, unfortunately, is just kind of the same. But we also can notice that they're using red brick instead of silver brick, which is both represented in the colors of the buildings as well as the little art connected to them. Now that we're moving out of the military district, we have moved down into this little corner district, and if I actually move this out, we can see all of our aware zone on here. So we're gonna exit down the bottom of the city here and see if we can travel to one of these smaller towns, like this one down here, which is connected to us. So that is kind of my goal here, is to kind of travel down to a smaller town. I need to find a road going south, which is right here. And then we are going to exit off of the side of the map, and fingers crossed, we make it to that town. So we're going to have to find that road and follow it. We've now made it outside into the town, and we can be, or outside of the city, and we can begin walking. So now you can see where we are on the map here, and I can follow this road. Just as a fascination, I think that this game is incredible. It's hardly a game. It's more of an experience. It's a weird art project. It's cool to look at. You can look at the oak. You can look at the grass. You can look at the road. Everything has so much depth and like heart poured into it that it's hard to not recommend to people to at the very least take a look at, even if it's something that you have no interest in really playing. It's a fascinating little digital art project that, if nothing else, just take a look at and go report some bugs and help Mark work on, because this is another game similar to Dwarf Fortress in that I would love to just see it continue to be developed. And look at this. It's even got Z levels, and they're super smooth too. You can just very much walk up and over them. I do think that there is a world where this game becomes something super interesting instead of a just kind of curiosity, I would say, which is kind of where I put it at this point. It's a fascinating idea, and I'm going to shush until I make it to that town, of which I've traveled part of the way to now. So after walking a little ways, you can actually see that my food rations have dropped. My water rations, interestingly enough, haven't. It appears that I consume 1 food ration per day, as per staring at the little notifier down there, and it's just kind of interesting watching it like bounce up and down. and watching the amount of food I have slowly tick down. If I press space, I can see that I'm almost at this little town here. So curious to go give some people a little chit chat when we get there and see what kind of things they have about and what they think of the rulers and what they want to do when asked what kind of insults I can throw at them. It appears that we found some farm fields. Look at this. Big old farm fields. These are actually, once again, quite similar to things that you can actually run into in Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode. Just these massive fields. Well, here's the beginnings of the little town out here in the open. Well, let's see if we can spot some people. Let's take a look at the door. Of course, that's a good way to kind of gauge the wealth of this particular spot here. Okay, not nearly as well appointed as the last door that we saw. We can now walk inside and take a peek. We can see that this is very much has an ascending staircase, which is more of a ladder. We got some very simple plain chairs here and some very simple plain tables. Same design, but we can take the ladder up and then we can turn around. We can poke around. We can see that in this definitely should be locked room, we have some chairs and a single person bed. We can then walk back down and walk out of this lovely little loft apartment. So, not a bad little flat, if I do say so myself. We've got some slightly larger buildings over here, which are kind of the same things. I'm mostly just looking for people to see if there's any inhabitants in this kind of area. As for the farm fields themselves, they appear to be cornfields. I don't know if there's anything I can do with them or if there's any way I can interact with them. I assume I can't. More little houses, more little buildings. How did I have this area up here already explored? That's curious. I don't recall walking this way, but let's take a peek in here. Oh, maybe, actually, I wonder, hold on. I wonder if it exposes the area behind the building. That seems like an odd bug. Interesting. Because I certainly didn't walk this way. Well, I mean, intriguing. We got another farm field up here, a blue one, which is grapes. Well, ain't that beautiful? Let's continue moving. If I find a living soul in this town, I will let you know. I'm going to just kind of explore for the time being. So I've wandered down one tile through that little farm district, and I seem to have found more buildings. It seems rather quiet here still. I haven't actually encountered anybody who's living. The doors, once again, have a different pattern. And they all seem pretty consistently in this pattern. I'm wondering if it's mostly just a wood grain thing or not. It seems almost more like a shed. We keep moving down. Oh, hello. I just see somebody, or am I going crazy? I don't think I did. I'm just going to keep moving. You find yourself overhearing a group of people talking about how much they value the community around their shared faith in this nation. Well, that's wonderful. We're slowly learning little bits about this world. There's definitely people here somewhere. I just haven't seen. Oh, there's somebody. So something that I would complain about in this is it is really hard sometimes to tell where there is a living entity. But look, we have Echo Your Traff, Silts Your Kilt Kits, who is a person, and they appear to be wearing poor clothing and are hanging around. I'm going to follow you and see if I can speak with you. Greetings, friend. I'm going to give you a polite greeting. Hello, and the same to you, fellow. I'm going to ask them... Well, actually, I'm going to compliment them. I'm going to give them a middling compliment and say, you are clearly a fine explorer and a well-read individual. And they say, that is insanely gracious. And then I say, what is... oops, actually, let's go to life. Where were you born? Where do you live? What is your job? What happened during your childhood? Where did you grow up? Within what region were your new to the world years spent? And they say, such a query is not one I desire to give an answer. I am a busy person with little time to consider such things. And then I will say, well, in that case, here, have a stronger insult. You're likely to be poor at berating and perhaps of weaker citizens. Well, how beneath you? Well, you come across as perhaps a weaker citizen. And I will say, farewell to you, bluntly. I must take my leave, and you the same. Anyway, let's see if I can find somebody who's more polite or well-learned around these parts. There's somebody. Hello, you. This is Koof Your Astri Calf Your Estla, which sounds like something I should apologize for. Let's ask them about what they know about this nation's history, and they say, I know little of such things. Well, I guess we should probably go into city for that. I'm going to ask you about towns. What town are you fondest of? Such a query, I'm not one to answer. All right. Are there any buildings of famous in your capital? The Eshlev Eslufartra Gallery, Ebonrek Keep is the hint of the public bank of Enstry within our capital city. Okay. Let's ask about some plants. Does your nation venerate any particular plants? Are there plants that are local to this area? Our local plants are wild emerald weed, the theory of arid weed, and the trailing arid bloom, as well as a narrow-leaved gray blossom and the thorny shadow shrub. I'm looking forward to finding more thorny shadow shrubs, but let's ask about the people. Who leads your nation? I speak of no things. Who do you owe fealty to? I owe allegiance to my great clan. Well, neutral farewell. I require to take my leave. May you roam far. And then we continue exploring a little bit. But yeah, I recommend that you check this game out if you're even remotely interested in this kind of thing, even if it's just to occasionally report bugs and point the developer in the direction of places where you can make the game better. I think that this is a very interesting little project, if nothing else, and at best, it's kind of phenomenal. It's just such a weird, deep thing. The Howl of Agenstash. Well, you know what? I don't mind if I do. I must know. What actually is that book, dear bookseller? Books. Hey, can I read it? Doesn't appear to be, but I've purchased it. I now have a book of the low-quality binding entitled The Howl of Agenstash, which is something that I always must buy in a video game like this. So we wandered around town, I bricked a save, and I bought a book. I like, once again, I know I've been kind of rambling for most of this video, but hard to recommend this one, but at the same time, very easy to recommend this one. Go check it out. It's free. It's on Mark R. Johnson's website. Mess around with it, walk around, crash the game, have fun. Hope you enjoy messing with URR as much as I do once every couple months or years when there's an update, as I wander around this town in the background. If you would like to see more videos like this of games you probably haven't heard of, or just a whole lot of Dwarf Fortress for that matter, check out this YouTube channel where there's a whole bunch of this stuff. If you want to support me and the stuff I do directly, you can check out my Patreon. My patrons should be on the screen right now. And if you would like to watch me while I play video games live on the internet, you can go to twitch.tv/BLINDIRL, where I stream video games live. And if you would like to, pick up something that helps me directly, you can buy a piece of merchandise at the merch store, which is linked in the description of this video. And I've just found an interesting building. Of course, right as I'm trying to end the video, actually it seems to kind of be like a collection of buildings with a wall around it. Oh, is it like a church thing? Yeah, this game's fascinating. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.